I want to share something with you today that I genuinely wish someone had said to me earlier. Because once you understand it, you cannot go back. You will never look at a child in the same way again. It's not a strategy, it's not a classroom technique. It is one fundamental shift in how you see a child. And it is the very heart of everything in Montessori. Most of us grew up in a world where adults were in charge of children's learning. The adult explained, the child listened, the adult corrected, the child tried again. The adult decided what was important and when. And that model made sense to us because it was all we knew. But here is the question Maria Montessori asked, a question that nobody at that time had really dared to take seriously. What if the child already knows what they need? The one principle that changes everything is this: the child is not an empty vessel to be filled. The child is a human being in the process of building themselves. Now that might sound simple, but I want you to really sit with it, because most of what we do with children, without even realizing, assumes the complete opposite. We assume they need us to motivate them, when actually motivation is something every healthy child is born with in abundance. Now just watch any baby learning to walk. Nobody gives them a star chart. Nobody sits them down and explains why walking is useful. They fall, they get up, they fall again, and they keep going. Not because we told them to, because they need to. It's written into them. That drive, that deep intrinsic hunger to understand the world does not disappear when they turn 3 or 5 or 7. It gets interrupted, but it never disappears. Maria Montessori saw this in children that the world had given up on. Children in an asylum in Rome, children labeled as uneducable, who, when given beautiful materials and the freedom to use them, taught themselves to read and write. And her question was not, how did I do that? Her question was, if children like this can learn this way, what are we doing to children that we've called normal? So what does this principle actually look like in real life? Because philosophy is beautiful, but you are raising a real child or teaching a real classroom, and you need to know what this means on a Monday morning, right? It means the adult's role changes completely. Instead of asking, how do I make this child learn? You start asking, what is this child already trying to do, and how do I prepare the world so that they can do it? It means watching more, intervening less, learning to read the signals that the child gives you, not as a misbehavior, but as a communication, as information. A child who cannot sit still is telling you something. A child who cries at transition is telling you something. A child who takes apart every toy that you give them is telling you something. And when you start to see it that way, when a child's behavior stops being a problem for you to solve and it starts being a language for you to learn, something shifts in you, in them, in the whole relationship. I have watched this happen with teachers in our training programs. There is always a moment where something clicks, where a teacher stops correcting and starts listening. And they come back the next morning and say, I don't know what happened, but she worked for 45 minutes without stopping. I have never seen her like that. What changed? The child did not change. The teacher's eyes changed. They finally saw what was always there. Here is the deeper truth underneath this principle, the one that I think matters most. When you begin to see children as people who are actively building themselves, people who came into the world with a purpose and potential and an extraordinary capacity, it does something to how you speak to them, how you wait for them, how much space you give them. You stop talking down, you start consulting. You stop deciding what they're ready for, and you start watching for the moment when they tell you that they're ready. You stop rescuing them from difficulty because you understand that the struggle is the learning. And this is the part that surprises people most. They become calmer. Not because you have become more strict, but because they feel respected. And children who feel respected do not need to fight for their dignity. Maria Montessori said, "The greatest sign of success for a teacher is to be able to say, 'The children are now working as if I did not exist.' Not because the teacher has disappeared, but because the teacher has done the most important work, quietly, patiently, beautifully, of preparing a world in which the children can finally become themselves." If this resonates with you, if you're sitting there thinking, "I want to see children this way, I want to teach this way," then I want to invite you to go deeper. Whether you're a parent who wants to bring this philosophy home, or an educator who wants to transform your classroom, or someone who is dreaming of a career built around this kind of work, then there's a place for you with us. At Sunshine Teachers Training, everything we do is built on this belief that children deserve adults who truly see them. Our varied programs, diploma and non-diploma, short courses, certified or non-certified, are designed to give you the eyes, the skills, and the community to do this work with confidence and joy. If this video moved something in you, please share it with someone who loves a child. They deserve to see this too. If you found this helpful, and if you want more of this kind of honest, grounded Montessori content, please subscribe. I share new videos every few weeks, and there is a lot more coming that I know you're going to love. And if this conversation has sparked something in you, if you are a teacher or a parent who wants to go deeper into Montessori, to be truly trained in this method, the link to our programs is in the description box below. It has helped so many educators across the globe, and it might be exactly what you've been looking for. Don't forget to like, and until we meet again, have a beautiful day.